lights would be flashing. What the fuck am I doing? There's another one coming, look.
It's sure not just like fireworks.
No, they're not fireworks, they're not. They don't just shoot them. Not fireworks, and they ain't aeroplanes. Oh, bloody batteries on them. Oh, you're not coming. Oh, the bloody batteries can go.
See the lights in there?
Yeah. Oh, that was a stupid one.
And there, his batteries run out. That's the end of the video. You heard him multiple times. Darren submits this incredible video, and he states in the video twice that his batteries were running out, but what did he capture? Multiple lights over the UK. Darren describes to me in his Gmail that he and his family were driving, enjoying the scenery, on their way to the grocery store, and they witnessed some strange lights. They pulled over and captured what we're looking at. We're zooming in, adding some brightness, contrast, and this is definitely a UFO phenomenon. Could it be weather phenomenon? Ball lightning comes to mind. Ball lightning, and look at these side-by-side comparisons. We have one zoomed in to the right and the full original video down below to the left. And these things are just levitating. And Darren says he couldn't explain what they were. They thought they were fireworks at one moment. Brett, what do you make of this?
Blake, they definitely come to realize that these aren't fireworks. We can see that we have different arrays of color around it. We got an orange red, we even have purple and a light blue. It's pretty amazing what they captured over here, and genuine conversation between them both is important. You could hear them talking about what they're seeing. It really makes sense. Just their whole surrounding area on what they're capturing. It's amazing, Blake.
He says that he had his camera, he zoomed in on it, so we're looking at, definitely, he's focused in, so there is a little shake when you try and zoom in on objects, and I'm glad he actually captured as best as he could. Right before the battery went out, he captured this still that we're zooming up on right now, and we got 4 orbs. You can see some kind of energy field behind it and around it, and he was stating as well that they're changing colors from red to orange to blue, different hues of colors. While this is going on, he and his family were bewildered, and I gotta say, this is some great footage.
Darren also states that he was impressed on how long these objects actually stayed in the sky and just hovered there, and eventually he said that they just faded out into nothing, into thin air. These aren't drones, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the whole event as Darren witnessed with his family, but hey, he managed to capture what he captured as his batteries were running out on his camera. So we all gotta now look at the video closely and say, what are we looking at? Is this some kind of weather phenomenon known as ball lightning, or is this some kind of an interdimensional display of alien beings in the UK? I got a feeling people will be leaving their comments below in regards to this incredible capture, and if you've seen anything like this, submit it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. And if you haven't, share this with your friends. Tell them, hey, you got to look at this incredible video coming out of the UK. Now, speaking of incredible, people are wondering, where is the new Area 51? Where is it being relocated to? We spoke earlier this year with Sean David Morton. He's got some answers. Check this out.
Here with Sean David Morton, best-selling novelist in regards to phenomenon UFOs. Right now, Sands of Time bestseller. We're going to be getting into questions in regards to UFOs, Area 51. First of all, is Area 51 active? as we speak?
It's active now, but it's active mostly for top secret aircraft, ramjet, scramjet stuff. It's all pretty advanced, but the famous 9 flying saucers that were there, that were transported from Wright-Patterson, the famous Hangar 18 in Wright-Patterson, Ohio, those all got moved to Utah, to a place called Area 6413, which is in the middle of the what they call the Dugway Proving Ground, and it's all surrounded by biological toxic chemical sites. You know, they put like dead cattle and signs that say nerve gas and all that. So that's where most of that stuff is. And as a matter of fact, the majority of the the majority of the Space Command stuff. They had NORAD, which used to be in Cheyenne Mountain, that they moved to Colorado Springs, and now they're moving NORAD back into Cheyenne Mountain because they're afraid of an electromagnetic pulse, which is very strange. So everything is moving back into Cheyenne Mountain, and but the main facility is actually underneath. This is the super top secret base, which is underneath the Kings Peak in the Uinta National Forest in Utah, which is where they now have the real U.S. Space Command, the U.S. Space Command that's coordinating activities throughout the solar system. So for protection of Earth from whatever they think is out there.
So as far as relocation of Area 51, did they, bring this flying saucers to this new location, fly them there? How do they, logistically get and relocate this top secret?
There was an order that was made by a gentleman that gave me the notes to write my book, Sands of Time, and they didn't know what to do with them because they couldn't work them, they couldn't even open them. So that's why they shipped them there. I think in about when was it? 86, I think. Might have been a little bit sooner than that, but it was around 86 or 87 or so, where they had the 9 craft, and at Area 51 they actually figured out how to open them and how to fly them, how to pilot them. And strangely enough, they couldn't figure it out because nobody had the guts to just get in one of the ships and actually sit in the seat. And they found that when you sat in the seat would kind of poof up around you like a beanbag chair, if you will. And that's what actually then triggered the mechanisms to turn on the consoles and make it work. But the biggest thing they were interested in was not so much the propulsion system or even the anti-gravity stuff inside the ships. They were interested in the time travel aspect of it, because the ships could actually expand and dilate time. That was the biggest thing, because people would get in the ships, they would spend, I don't know, an hour flying around and come back, and there'd be 22 hours on the clocks. So it all became a relative time-based thing. So that's what they were the most interested in, was how do these craft and these ships actually dilate time? Because that was our biggest goal over the last 40 years, was the ability to somehow manipulate and possibly shift or change time. That's what they think is going to be the atom bomb against the Japanese, if you will, as far as what they believe is an extraterrestrial threat.
Absolutely. Lots of information, incredible insight, things I've never heard before right here at Third Phase of Moon. I got one big question for you.
Okay.
Do you think the government's ever going to reveal what's going on?
Well, it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to. You'll notice how the government responses have changed over the past 70 years, where they've gone from UFOs don't exist to UFOs aren't dangerous, but people who see them are and should be horsewhipped, as the Condon report said, to then now they're going to, we can either confirm or deny. The challenge here might be is that there are no UFOs, they're all IFOs. They know exactly what they are and where they're coming from, so they are telling the truth, saying there are no UFOs. The challenge with any of these governments is, once again, govern and mint means control of the mind. So, mint means mind, actually. So it's all control of the mind. And they've really painted themselves into a corner with all this information. If the government came out tomorrow, if Obama really came out tomorrow and said, yes, there are extraterrestrials, and, peeled off his face and said humans are tasty, which is probably, he's already an illegal alien, why not an extraterrestrial? Would you believe him, is the challenge. And the other challenge would be, until they fill the skies, or I'm sure they could play it off all kinds of different ways. Again, they believe that the minute you admit to this, once again, you destroy religions, you possibly destroy, once you introduce the technology, you destroy the economic fabric, you destroy the socio-political fabric, but we are close to it. The biggest thing is the internet's gotten out of the box, and that has become the new sphere, or the seventh chakra of the planet, really. And that free and open exchange of information is preparing everybody for what's coming. So that's my question. That they will have no choice at some point, but they can ignore it and stick their head in the sand for as long as they can.
Freedom of information is happening right now around the world. How will people from watching right here at Third Phase of Moon to listen to you, how do they get in contact with you?
They can actually listen to my show. Go to my website, www.strangeuniverseradio.com. I was one of the original producers on Strange Universe, the TV series back in the 90s. Strangeuniverseradio.com, which is on revolutionradio.rocks. And so there you go. That's how you get in touch with me. Or SeanDavidMorton.com as well.
Sean, appreciate you joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon. And if you captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs, you have information that you want to get out, share it with the world right here at Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time. Sean, let's